Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to look into this word kafara. If I go in the dictionary, it will say disbelieve and reject, but it will say a noon in front of it. Okay. So this will immediately tell me that it is going to follow this rule here. The bottom one, because it's the rule of noon. And when it is the rule of the noon, first word will be kafara. Kafara, which means he disbelieved. Past tense, kafara. Okay? But the second word will be yakfuru. Which means he disbelieves. No, there is no dhamma here. On this one?
This one. Yeah, what is one? Yeah,
Nasara.
Noon, swad, ra, the first one.
This one?
Yes, what's that one?
I put a dhamma here too, just like I'm putting here.
So it is nasur.
No. This you don't read. I'm just giving the example that middle letter is going to carry a dhamma, but the word is here.
Yansur.
Yeah. So once I open the dictionary, I want to see the meaning of these three letters. It will tell me the meaning of, in English, I disbelieve, but the dictionary will put a little noon after that. And from this little table, we will realize that noon, whenever there is a noon, that means when you make the past tense, it will be kafara, like nasara. Present tense will be yansuru, yakfuru. This sounds same. The harakats are same, it sounds same. Yansuru, yakfuru. Okay? So this is the reason I explained all that. That if this is kafara, he disbelieved. Why it is yakfuru in the present tense? Okay? The reason being, it is going to follow the rule of noon. Okay? Yakfuru. Okay? Its plural will be yakfuruna. Okay? They disbelieve. Third person. If it is second person, it will be takfuru. Ta. Plural will be takfuruna. You disbelieve. Okay? So that's the word in the Quran. Allah says, Kaifa takfuruna. It's a surprise. How can you disbelieve? It's a matter of surprise because Kaifa is bringing the meaning of surprise. How do you disbelieve? How can you disbelieve? Allah is addressing the people, the mankind. How can you reject? How can you disbelieve? Okay? So takfuruna, from here you can make yakfuruna, takfuruna or any other word, but important thing is that you will learn how to put a middle letter dhamma on that. Okay? So how can you disbelieve? Allah says it's a matter of surprise. Kaifa, how? How can you disbelieve? Okay? So the next word, next two words are be. Be means in, and Allahu. Be, Allahu. So when these are combined together, it becomes Billahi. Because B is a harf-jar. Harf-jar changes the harkat of the last letter from Dhamma to a kasra. Okay? So it becomes B Allahi. When you read together, you do not pronounce this alif. And so you combine B with Allah, so this alif will change into a hamzatul wasl with a little swad on it. Meaning will be in Allah. Okay? So now Allah says, it is surprising matter. How can you disbelieve in Allah? How can you disbelieve in Allah? Okay? So statement is coming with astonishment to the mankind that how is it possible? How is it possible that you can disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay? And then Allah says few more things to put the emphasis on this statement. Okay? So let's look in those. The next two words are وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا. Okay, so let's look at these words. So the wa means and, the first here. And the next word, it starts with these three letters, kaf, waw, noon, kauna. Okay? It means to be. To be. Okay? Now from our grammar table, if you have the word fa'altum, fa'altum means you did, the past tense of the plural. Fa'altum is a fa'altum. This means you did. Okay? If we apply this grammar to these three letters, instead of fa'ala, if you put these three letters, this will become ka wantum. Just replace fa with kaf, ain with waw, and lam with noon. So the word becomes kawantum. Okay? Fa'altum means you did. Kawantum, the past tense of this word is you were. The past tense of to be is what? Or you have been. Okay? Or you were. Okay? Now there is a little difficulty here that waw has a fatha on it. Okay? So what will happen is that this is a weak letter. Waw is a weak letter, and it doesn't combine with fatha. So this letter waw, it drops out. But before it drops out, it does little damage. What it does, its sound is the sound of dhamma. It pushes the sound of dhamma on kaf. So this word becomes kuntum. Kuntum. So it's because weak letters as it drops out. Weak letters have rules. Sometimes they drop out. Sometimes they change into alif. Okay, sometimes they change into switch between each other. It also depends if they are coming in the middle or at the end. So, but there are set rules. If waw comes in the middle always, and with a fatha, then waw drops out. Like in this case. But its sounds moves on kaf. Okay, so what is kuntum? Kuntum, you were. Okay? The next word is, it starts with mim, Wow, ta. Okay, this means to die. Mim wow ta means to die. Okay. Okay. So let me write down first. We know this word. If I write down mim wow and ta, like that, mautun, this means death. Mautun means death. Okay.
So before going to the next word for the countdown, always when wow will be dropped with fatha, it changed the letter before itself. And
Its sound changes.
the sound of the letter before always changes to dhamma, or no? It's not.
No, if it is a wow, the sound of wow is Dhamma sound.
Yeah.
So the only sound changes into Dhamma. That's the reason Kaf had a fatha, now Kaf has a Dhamma. Here, Kaf had a fatha on it. Wow dropped, but it changed this fatha into Dhamma.
So it's always, this is the same thing.
Always, if the wow is in the middle with a fatha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will follow the rule. And there are a few other words, Qawla and Qultum. Qawla means to say. Qultum means you said. Same rule applied there because wow was in the middle. And Qawla becomes Qultum. Dhamma became a Qaf. Okay? So any words that will follow the wow in the middle, it will happen to them. Okay? So Mautun means death. And the word Maitun means dead person. The person who is dead is called Maitun. Okay? Its plural is Amwatun. Amwatun is dead, plural. Dead people are called Amwatun. Okay. So here Allah says, Kuntum Amwatun, you were dead. You were dead people. Okay. Kuntum Amwatun, if I combine these two, okay, it will become you were dead. So first I am going to just simply write down like that. Amwatun. You were dead. Okay. Kuntum amwatun, separately speaking, you were dead. Okay. So now notice this is a sentence. This is a small sentence. It's called jumla. Okay. It has three parts in it. One part is a file, which is a doer, you. Okay. Another part is a verb here. This is a verb. To be was a verb, and were is a verb here. You were. You have been. Okay. And third part is the maf'ul, the one who is dying. Okay. So when we have a sentence that has a file, that has a verb, and that has a maf'ul, means subject, object, and verb. Okay. Then the object changes two dhammas into two fathas. Okay. We had the example before. If you have khalaqa plus Allahu plus al-insanu. al-insanu. This sentence has three parts. Khalaqa, created. Okay? Khalaqa, created. Fail. Allahu, file, the one who is creating. And al-insan is a maf'ul or object which is being created. Okay? When you combine these together, this becomes khalaqallahu al-insana. The maf'ul changes the sound of dhamma to a fatha. Khalaqallahu al-insana. So this is the rule. If you have a sentence where all three things are present, a doer, someone the work is being done on, and a fail, a verb, it's a complete sentence. Okay? Then the doer stays as it is, but the one something is being done on, it changes the sound of the last letter from dhamma to a fatha, which means this becomes nasab, this remains rafa. Okay? So that's the reason amwatun will change into amwatan. That's what it is in the Quran. Okay? Because this is the same rule. Al-insano, we will change into al-insana. Because three things are present here. So here, it's the same thing. File, verb, and maf'ul. So this will become amwatan. That's what this is in the Quran.
So always the maf'ul change.
Always maf'ul changes. File doesn't change. Okay. Maf'ul changes means it becomes nasab. Nasab means it becomes fataha. Last letter. The doer remains doer. He is strong. Okay. The one who is doing is strong. He doesn't get impacted. But the one you're working on, that thing is weak. So it loses its state. And it becomes nasab. Nasab means weaker state. Because he is being worked on. Okay? So in every sentence when you have a doer, someone being done on, and some action is happening, then doer stays strong. Rafa, higher state. The one who is taking or receiving is a weaker, it changes its state from dhamma to a fatha. So if you start paying attention on the ayats of the Quran like this, you will always notice this fact here. Okay? That the one who is maf'ul is always going to change its state. Okay? So the meaning is here.
So the insanu is a maf'ul here, right?
Yes, so it will become insana. Once I recombine these three, it will become khalaqallahul insana. Just like this becomes kuntum amwatan. Okay? So this becomes you were dead. Allah says that
You were nothing.
you were dead means you were nothing. You were not even born yet. That's the state before birth. Amwatan here means you were not, there was a time when you were not even born, which means you did not exist at all. Okay? That was the one state. Okay? Then Allah says, فَأَحْيَاكُمْ. Okay? Okay, so fa means then. Okay. And the word is ha, ya and ya. Okay. This means to be alive or to live. Okay. Ha, ya is hayat, life. Okay. Now, if I make it a Babe Afala, in Babe Afala we just put an alif in the beginning and put fathas on every letter. Afala, if I do the same thing, this will become aha, ya, ya. Okay. The meaning of it is to give life. To give life. Ahya. Okay. Now, in this case, what happens? Ya has a fatha on it. This is a weak letter. And fatha doesn't go with ya. So this changes into an alif. It drops out but changes into an alif. So this word becomes ahaya.
Sorry. This is weak letter that it's dropped.
So this is the ya is a weak letter because there are three weak letters. Alif, waw, and ya.
Why this? The first one is not changing.
This one?
Yeah, because here we have two weak letters.
Oh, so only the last one gets affected,
Okay.
not the middle one. Okay. So ahya. Now, also I mentioned that the name of the bab is also the third person grammar. So the meaning of ahya is he gave life. Okay. And that is actually written is written here. Okay. Kum means you. Okay. So there are three parts. Fa, ahya, kum. Then he gave you life. Okay.
So I guess this weak letter rule is not consistent because when we did the command dum,
Yeah.
the wow wasn't the last letter.
Right, but I'm saying that
Yeah.
there's a whole. Sometime I'll give you the notes.
Yeah.
There are 5-6 pages that define all the rules, how the middle letter, the weak letters function. Okay. So ahya means he gave life. Plus kum means you. He gave you life. You are dead, then he gave you life. Means you are born now. Okay, you have come in this world.